Welcome, everyone, to this talk titled You Need to Care About Context Engineering. Your AI is only as smart as its context. Today, we explore a simple but powerful concept. Your AI is only as smart as the information you provide to it. This presentation will introduce the idea of context engineering and explain why it's crucial for businesses of all sizes. We'll delve into how context affects AI performance, what your business can do to improve it, and how even small steps can lead to significant improvements. By the end, you'll understand how to make your business AI ready and why context is the key to unlocking AI's full potential. My name is Stephen Redmond. I'm the founder and Chief AI Officer at Straitéis AI. We help enterprises of all sizes move from AI confusion to confident, responsible adoption. Less AI noise, more AI value. I draw on over 30 years in data and AI leadership, including senior roles at Bearing Point, Accenture, Deutsche Bank, and Capventus. I've seen how many organizations stall in pilots, are unsure where to start, how they can prove value quickly, or how they might embed governance safely. Straitéis AI bridges that gap. My background spans enterprise-scale AI innovation, data strategy, and team enablement across sectors from financial services, manufacturing, retail, food industry, medtech, and public services. We've heard a lot about prompt engineering for AI, but you can see the quote here from Gartner, where they described context engineering as designing and structuring the relevant data, workflows, and environment so AI systems can understand intent, make better decisions, and deliver contextual, enterprise-aligned outcomes without relying on manual prompts. Prompts are still important, but the critical element for AI success is the context that goes with it. Every business can benefit from understanding about context engineering, as it leads to improved AI performance and better outcomes. If you're a small business, it probably sounds like a large investment, but there are simple improvements that you can make to help your AI tools fulfill their potential for your business. I will tell you about some of these as we go through the presentation. But first, let's talk about the problem with AI. AI can be absolutely brilliant. AI systems often produce impressive results, but they can also deliver confusing or incorrect answers. We've all heard about AI hallucinations, how they create documents with incorrect citations and references. They just make up stuff. This inconsistency is not actually due to flaws in the AI itself. The generative AI is doing exactly what it is supposed to do, be generative, but is rather the limitations of the data and context it has access to. Just as if you had a new employee, fresh out of college, with their head full of knowledge, but without any understanding of your business, AI will try its best to answer your question, but may resort to guessing. If it has no information to go on, it will just generate an answer, and is often quite confident in doing so. Even if it has access to some limited information, it will clutch at that and go for it. Here's an example of an easy question with an easy answer, if you're a football aficionado. This is old, it's very well-known information. The system didn't need to do any thinking. Even in ChatGPT's thinking mode, it only took 3 seconds to determine that this was Brazil's starting team for the 1970 World Cup final. and of course that the missing player was Pele. But GPT-5 has training cutoff date of October 2024. So it doesn't have any events in its training data after that date. For example, the UEFA Women's Euros of 2025. So it didn't know in this query that I was looking for Leah Williamson as the answer. She's the captain of the England Euro winning team. This was the starting lineup for the final match. It had a go, as we can see from the thinking, and it took a lot longer to think about its options. But I didn't give it enough context. And when it looked at the internet, it found that Williamson is injured as of October 2025. So it went for Niamh Charles as the answer. Prompt engineering focuses on crafting better questions to elicit useful responses from AI. While this technique can improve interactions, it only addresses part of the problem. In the previous example, I could have added more information to try and get a better result. But if the AI had no underlying information on that topic, for example, your internal documents, then it wouldn't be able to give the right answer, even with the most well-crafted prompt. The real transformation occurs when AI has access to rich content. This foundational information enables AI to provide informed and relevant answers, making context engineering a critical component of successful AI deployment. If you give a student a page of text, give them a minute to read it, and then ask a question, they have a really good chance of giving you the correct answer. We need to give our AI tools the best chance of getting the right answer. Here's another great analogy. Imagine you have the best call center agent in the world working for you. They have great empathy with your customers. They are smart, able to quickly look up information in internal systems, and able to work through a problem with the customer and get to a resolution. Now, imagine that every day as they are leaving, you use the Men in Black device on them and remove their memory of the whole day. The next day, when the same customer calls back to follow up, the agent has no idea who they are or what their problem is and needs to start all over again. How would the customer feel about that? That would be the same challenge that an AI agent would face if they had no access to memory of the previous interactions. What if they had no access to internal documentation? How would they be able to help the customer at all? Just as a human expert needs resources to perform effectively, AI requires structured and accessible data, including memory of previous events, to deliver accurate and meaningful results. Providing context transforms AI from a guessing machine into a reliable assistant. We don't need to expensively train an AI with all of our data to make it useful. We can provide it with targeted snips of data to provide just the right amount of context for it to answer the query successfully. Many of you may be familiar with the concept of retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. We load our internal documents into a search database called a vector DB. Our user enters a query on our website, and that gets sent up to the server, which sends it off to the vector DB and asks for it to return text chunks that are the closest match to the user query. It does its search, ranks the result, and sends back the top number of what it thinks are the closest, say top 5 or top 10. This is sometimes known as knowledge, but it's the context that you're going to give the AI. This knowledge is passed in a prompt to the AI along with the user query. The prompt might be as simple as, use the knowledge below to answer this query. although often they're a lot more complicated than that. The AI response is sent back to the server, which formats it to be returned to the user, for example, as text or as speech. The RAG method is usually pretty good at getting good answers back to the user. I've implemented it several times and have often got accuracy rates, which are subjective from users, of 90% or above. But that still means it's making mistakes. How can it make a mistake when we're giving it the answer? Well, sometimes we don't give it the right answer to work with. The RAG process involves searching documents and selecting the top few matches to inform the AI's response. What that few number is can be something that you need to tune. If you give too few, you risk losing out on valuable context. If you give too many, then that can be worse, as you risk giving the AI too much context and confusing it. For example, if I retrieve the top 5 and the most relevant document is ranked 6th, then that chunk would be excluded, leading to a suboptimal answer from the AI. If I were to retrieve the top 10 and the most relevant documents from the top 3, then I'm giving the AI 7 text chunks that are less relevant, and they may even confuse the response. What can we do to solve this? The results we can get back from the vector DB can be improved by introducing a discriminator agent. It will evaluate retrieved content, chunk by chunk, before it reaches the AI, giving the AI a much better chance of answering correctly. This is the next level of context engineering. More advanced text retrieval engines, such as Microsoft's Azure AI Search, add more intelligence to the retrieval to discriminate and return the most relevant context. These agents check whether the information truly answers the user's question and filter out irrelevant data. Another option might be to have your own custom AI agent, designed to understand more of the context of your business, to make that discernment about which chunks of text should be returned. By adding this layer of intelligence, businesses can significantly enhance the accuracy and trustworthiness of AI responses, leading to better decision making and more satisfactory customer interactions. Why bother? My agent is good enough. I can't spend more time and money with this additional agent. Implementing context engineering to improve the performance of your AI can lead to tangible business benefits. Just one example. If you improve the reliability of responses from a customer service agent, then that will lead to reducing the customer handling time and will enhance customer satisfaction. It will also lead to more of the queries being handled successfully by your AI agent, so that less need to be handled by human agents, who then have more time to devote to more difficult customer queries, again enhancing customer satisfaction. Companies that have adopted these practices report significant improvements in operational efficiency and user experience. Better context-aware AI is not just a technical upgrade, but a strategic advantage that drives real-world outcomes. If you're a small organization, you might assume that this context engineering is only relevant for large organizations. You don't have a customer service chatbot. You don't think you have any AI really to speak of. But you need to think that even off-the-shelf AI tools, like Microsoft Copilot or Salesforce's Agentforce, and many other embedded AIs, rely heavily on the data in your business. If this data is poor quality, disorganized, or incomplete, if your SharePoint is full of duplicate and aged versions of documents, or your CRM is full of half-finished opportunities and invalid customer details, the AI's performance will suffer. You need to recognize the importance of clean, structure data, and take steps to ensure the data in your systems supports effective AI integration. The future of AI lies in agentic systems. Agents do more than respond. They act across platforms, automate workflows, and collaborate like a digital employee. Agentic AI has been seen to suffer high failure rates due to misalignment and poor coordination. They require well-structured data and integrated systems to function effectively. Context engineering addresses this by curating and sharing dynamic contexts and managing persistent contexts, such as the memory of what happened yesterday. This cannot be achieved with prompt engineering. Businesses that think about and invest in context engineering today will be better positioned to leverage agentic AI and gain a competitive advantage in the evolving digital landscape. You do not need a large budget to begin context engineering. Simple actions like tidying up your data is a great start. You should make sure that your existing tools are up to date, as new AI functionality keeps arriving all the time. And when you're evaluating software tools, ask smart questions about how that tool uses your data. All of these can make a significant difference. These small steps prepare your business for AI integration and ensure that AI tools perform effectively. Your goal should be to build a foundation that supports intelligent, context-aware systems, even if you never plan to build your own. Your clear takeaway from this presentation is that AI success does not come from clever prompts, but from thoughtful context. As a business, you must focus on organizing your data, look at all your workflows, and ensuring that your systems and data are ready to support intelligent operations. By prioritizing context, any AI tool can deliver meaningful and valuable results, transforming how businesses operate and serve their customers. You need to care about context engineering. Thank you for listening along with this presentation, and I'm sorry that I can't be there live with you. If these ideas resonate with you, please connect with me either via the RDI Hub or via LinkedIn. I would love to hear about your experiences and talk with you about how your business can prepare for the future of context-aware AI. Thank you very much.